Hi, my name's Alex. I use they, them pronouns from the McGill NDP in Churchiake, the traditional and continuing home of the Kanien'kehá:ka Nation. I would like to say I agree on the first 2 points, and I think that whatever airport infrastructure we do have should definitely be public, but I do not feel that we should be pursuing further investment in airports or the expansion of air travel in general. To be able to fly is a great privilege, and only an estimated 3% of people in the world take regular flights, and over 80% of the global population has never been on a plane. Beyond that, flying is incredibly carbon intensive. There are dozens of countries around the world with emissions per capita less than the emissions of a single person's long-haul flight. And if everyone in the world took just one long-haul flight per year, the total emissions from flying would be greater than the emissions from the entire United States. So if we are to be a party of international solidarity with the common people, we must ask, do we think that everyone should be able to fly and push us forward into climate breakdown? Or do we think that somehow we are special and deserve this luxury? Or maybe do we think it's time to shift away from air travel? So let's invest in high-speed rail, in public bus networks to connect rural areas. It's true that sometimes it's important to fly, say to come to the NDP National Convention. But the majority of Canadian flights are for non-essential reasons like vacations. So let's invest in local tourism here in Canada so people don't need to fly. Maybe we can invest in making people happy with where they live so they don't feel the need to escape. And at a time when small island nations are on their way to disappearing, when last year more than 87 million people were affected around the world by climate disasters, a drought in Syria which has already faced enough shit already, left 14.5 million people without food, a convergence of 3 typhoons and cyclones in Southeast Asia killed thousands, when we recently passed the first irreversible climate tipping points. At a time when us young people, right now we have to worry about not only if we can afford food, but in the future if we're even going to be able to grow food. We cannot be expanding luxury emissions from air travel, especially when it is those with less privilege, those who could never dream of flying, who are already at the front lines of the climate crisis, struggling to survive through flood and fire and famine. Further investment in luxury air travel is the opposite of international solidarity, and it is completely against the interests of the global 99%. Thank you.